The Farmer and the Hill Shadow, spoken storytelling script. Listen closely, because this story begins with a man standing alone in a field, staring at a long dark stripe of shadow stretching across his crops, convinced it was ruining everything he'd worked for. The sun had barely risen over the valley when old Marek stepped out of his farmhouse, boots sinking into the soft earth. He squinted toward the eastern ridge, that stubborn, towering hill that loomed over half his land. Every morning it cast its shadow across the same patch of soil, and every morning Marek muttered the same words under his breath. Too much shade, too little sun. How am I supposed to grow anything there? He'd tried everything, moving his rows, pruning branches, even waking before dawn to coax the sun into reaching his stubborn crops sooner. But the hill never budged. Its shadow crawled down the slope like a slow, heavy curtain, smothering his hopes for a full harvest. The season was turning hot, hotter than anyone in the village could remember. The sun blazed mercilessly, wringing moisture from the earth, crisping leaves, cracking soil. Marek's neighbours walked their fields with dread on their faces. Some had already lost half their crops to the scorch. And as the heat tightened its grip, Marek's frustration grew. How can a man win, he grumbled, when the land itself works against him? But the strange thing, the thing he didn't notice, not yet, was that the crops in the shadowed patch weren't withering like the others. Their leaves remained green, their stems sturdy, their soil cool to the touch. Still, Marek's eyes were fixed on what he thought was wrong, not on what was quietly going right. One afternoon, the heat soared to a terrifying peak. Birds hid beneath barn roofs. Horses refused to leave their stables. Even the wind felt exhausted. The villagers gathered in small, anxious knots, whispering about the worst drought in decades. Marek trudged into his field, expecting disaster. And disaster greeted him, everywhere except one place. His sun-soaked crops were shriveled and curled, their colour drained, but those in the shadow of the hill, they stood like quiet survivors after a storm, lush, alive, untouched by the blaze that had stolen so much. His breath caught. He dropped to his knees, running trembling hands along a row of healthy leaves. "How?" he whispered. And then, as the wind shifted, he looked up. Really looked, for the first time. The hill rose behind him like a silent guardian. Its shadow draped over the crops, not like a thief, but like a shield. Not stealing sun, but saving life. The realization struck him with the softness of truth and the force of revelation. "All this time," he murmured, "I thought you were hurting me." His voice cracked as he stood, dusting dirt from his palms. A slow smile crept across his weathered face, small at first, then warm, then grateful. The hill had protected what he could not. As the days passed, Marek tended the shadowed patch with new reverence. He no longer cursed the hill, he thanked it. And when harvest came, that once dismissed corner of his field yielded more food than any other. Sometimes the things we resent are the very things quietly keeping us alive. Sometimes the shadows we fear are cast by something standing between us and a heat we never could have endured alone. And sometimes, Marek learned, the greatest blessings arrive guised as burdens. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share and subscribe to help the channel grow.